Don't be bored. There's tons of things to do in Boston. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, my name is Matt Swierk and I'm a local real estate expert right here in Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team powered by Keller Williams. Now if this is the first time to our YouTube channel, you definitely want to, okay. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Swierk and I'm a local real estate expert right here in Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team that's powered by Keller Williams. Now if this is the first time to our YouTube channel and you're interested to find out what it's like to live, sleep, eat, drink, play, and some of the top things to do in Boston, you're definitely going to want to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you click that little bell so every time we put up a new video, you're going to be notified. So I have to tell you, there's a lot of people that reach out to us. Hello, this is Matt.
Hey Matt, this is Tyler. How you doing?
I'm good, Tyler. Are you looking to relocate to Massachusetts?
Sure, yeah. Sounds
all right.
Good to me.
That's exciting. I'm actually shooting a video right now.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I won't interrupt. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, good. Thanks. So if you have any questions about relocating or certain areas, we want to be your number one resource. So all you need to do is just pick up the phone. You can send us a text. You can send us an email. You can send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, maybe even Snapchat. Just remember, when it comes to information on Massachusetts, we've got your back. So today we're going to be talking about what are some of the top things to do specifically in Boston. Massachusetts has tons, and we just want to focus in on Boston. And this is a challenging one because there's so many things to do, and there's so many things I love to talk about as far as whether it was just a couple weeks ago when I was on the Harbor Walk, or if it was a long time ago when I was a little kid going to the aquarium. So I got to start there. New England Aquarium, one of my favorite places. I think when one of the other videos we talked about when I was a little kid, that place was gigantic. And as I've now brought my children there, the place is really small. And it's a really nice aquarium. They've done tons there. There's a giant tank in the middle of the aquarium that you can see all the fish swimming around in and the sharks. I'm not going to talk all about the aquarium, but then another fun thing that's about the aquarium is actually there's whale watching tours that you can take right out of there to go see a whale watch, which is really fun. Now, something that is also tied to that area that I didn't get to do because this actually didn't get to do as a kid, we have this interesting thing called Codzilla. Codzilla. Yes, I got to talk about Codzilla. You got to Google it. You got to look it up. We'll probably flash a picture for you about Codzilla. Codzilla is this giant speedboat. And what's really cool about this, it's got 2 turbocharged diesel engines. It's like 2,800 horsepower. This thing goes 40 miles an hour. It's like a water coaster, right? And it rips all around Boston Harbor. It's doing 360s. I mean, I've seen the videos of it and people are screaming and yelling, and it's just, you're on this giant boat that looks like a codfish, hence Codzilla. It's a really fun thing. So I think it's a fun thing. I haven't done it, but you definitely got to check that out. I want to do that. I don't even know where to go next on this because there's so many different places. So we'll go to Boston Common. That's someplace I absolutely love. Boston Common and the Boston Public Gardens. It's not right in downtown, but it's pretty centrally located as far as the city's concerned. And what's really nice about that is we have what's called the Frog Pond, which in the wintertime they actually flood that and that gets frozen, and so you can go ice skating. So that's a really nice feature. When we have our New Year's Eve celebrations, they have ice sculptures throughout that area as well. Another fun thing that I went on as an adult and when I was on a kid was something called the Swan Boats, right? And there was a book, I think it was called Make Way for Ducklings, and that talks about this family of ducks or geese, and the swan boats are in there. And what's funny about that is, as a kid, it's a boat that looks like a swan, and it has tons of spaces on there. So as a kid, I think it had like 200 spaces on it. As an adult, I realized it's probably about 24. When I was a child, I think the water was about 700 feet deep, and then now as an adult, I realize it's probably like 1.5 feet. So it's a magical thing. There's actually geese and duck all around the boat. So the duck boats is a really fun thing, especially if it's a family event or you want to go on a little date, that's a fun thing to do. And there's usually some street vendors there, selling all kinds of foods or different types of products. So that's a really fun place to go, is the Boston Commons. Talking about the harbor in different parts of the city, another place that's great is the North End. The North End, tons and tons of Italian restaurants. That's where there's a heavy Italian population. It's kind of a magical place. You can go down early in the morning, walk through some of these small streets and some of these side streets. There's a lot of bakeries that are making fresh breads and fresh dough and all kinds of delicious things. And there's nothing like having a nice piece of bread that comes right out of the oven, like a beautiful loaf of bread. So I would definitely recommend that if you're in the North End. You can't go wrong with any of the Italian restaurants that are down there. They're all fantastic. And then one place that I, hands down, have to go to, 100% worth it, Mike's Pastries, right? Mike's Pastries, little Italian place down there. They have, in my opinion, the best cannolis you can possibly imagine. You can get them with chocolate chips. I don't know why you would do that. I think it's blasphemy, but that's my personal opinion. So I'm always a big fan. If I go to a restaurant and they say they have cannolis, the first question is there chocolate chips on them? And they're like, oh yeah, there's chocolate chips. And I say, no, I don't want that. So, but personal preference, that's just who I am. Okay, another thing that's fun that you can do that's low cost or zero cost, except for some little bit of energy, maybe a protein bar and a nice pair of walking shoes, is the Freedom Trail. Freedom Trail, Boston has a lot of history, and the Freedom Trail is, it's one of those revolution trails that basically starts down in the Commons, and it's a 2.5 mile walk, and it's self-guided. It takes a couple hours to do, and it actually ends at the Bunker Hill Monument that's over in Charlestown. That's also where Old Ironsides is, that we refer to as, a lot of people would say, the USS Constitution. That was interesting when that used to come out and turn around every day. So, not every day, but they used to turn that on the 4th. And I'm not going to go on a tangent on the Constitution, but that's a really fun thing to do. Also, love it, hate it, it is what it is. You got to go check out Fenway Park. Right, even if you're a Yankees fan, right? Like, we'd go check out Yankee Stadium. So if we were there, we would check it out. We'd have the respect to honor your stadium. Fenway Park, built in the 1912 is when that stadium was built, and there's so much history as far as that stadium's concerned. And the big thing that we have there is a 37-foot high wall that's called the Green Monster. Right, it's just this giant wall, and I think I mentioned that in another video. One of my daughters had asked me, like, why they call it the Green Monster, and it's hard to explain to a child, like, this big wall, why it's called the Green Monster. So I'm not going to try to explain that to you, because you can Google that one. And of course, we have Wally the mascot, who's the Green Monster, and he's not that scary. He's kind of fun looking, different from Blades, who's the Bruins mascot. That he's got a little edge on there. So we'll leave that one there. I'm not going to go off a tangent on sports. Some other things I think that are really important as far as to do in the city, the Museum of Fine Arts. I grew an appreciation for the arts over the years. However, as a kid, when I went there, it's interesting I talk about being a kid and all these memories I have. So as a kid, I really didn't care about any of the art except for when we went into the Egyptian section. They have an extensive display as far as Asian and as far as Egyptians concerned. So that was really fun. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Museum of Science that had a King Tut exhibit that came through, but over at the Museum of Science, they rotate their exhibits, where the Museum of Fine Arts just has really 1 or 2 exhibits they rotate. However, they always have that Egyptian section in the museum. So that's something I always enjoyed. And when my mother wanted to go there over and over and over again, I would kick and scream a little bit, but I was excited because I was going to go see another mummy. So no pun intended with my mom. I don't know, bad joke. So yeah, boom, I didn't plan that, I promise. I am cheesy. Museum of Fine Arts, I mean, it's a great place, and a great place to have some culture. I've been talking about the Museum of Science. I'm going to wait on that one because I want to talk about the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. This is I feel it's really a magical place. It is in it's not in downtown Boston. It's one of the outskirts as far as Boston's concerned. And it's described as like a Venetian paradise. So this was a private collection. It's paintings, it's sculptures, it's ceramics, it's textiles, furniture. all over, whether it's from Asia, from Europe, from the United States. This was a private collection, and they have this beautiful courtyard that you just think that you're in a whole nother world when you're inside this museum and inside this courtyard. So that's something, the first time I went there, I thought, when I was younger, I thought for sure I was going to be very, very bored. And it was actually really interesting. And then as I got older and I learned about some of the history of that museum, it became even more intriguing. So there's a lot of people don't know this, but there was a major heist that happened at that museum. And there was 13 pieces that were stolen. Still to this day. Another relocation fund. No, just kidding. So still to this day, there's really, like I said, this is a tough one because there's so many things that we could continuously talk about. I think I'll finish it off with the Museum of Science, which is probably one of my favorite places. So Museum of Science, like I said, rotates their exhibits that come through. We also have a planetarium and a Omni Theater as well. It's actually the same thing. And so when you sit back and you're fully immersed as far as the movie is concerned, and it's amazing technology. And what I love about the museum, I was a big dinosaur fan as a kid. I still am. And there's a huge replica of a Tyrannosaurus Rex that I think is like 3 stories high. There is this electricity station that basically shows you, if you touch the globe, then the wires come off, and it's a really interesting experience. I would love to show you what it's like as far as they have a guy in a cage and he hits the side rod, like lightning comes down and sparks everything and everyone's screaming. That's a lot of fun. There's so many different things as far as the museum. There's a staircase that as you go up it makes different sounds and different notes. There's all kinds of pendulum exhibits, and like I said, they rotate all of these different exhibits throughout the year, so every time you go you're always going to find something new. The city is just loaded with activities. Like I said, we could be here for days upon days talking about all the things you could do. And really what's great, when I talk about all these different things within Boston, they're very accessible either by maybe a 10 to 15 minute walk, or you can just jump on our subway system. A couple stops get you here. Everything is pretty condensed. Now, I almost forgot to talk about a huge area as far as Boston's concerned, and that is what the out-of-town folks call the Quincy Market. We call it Quincy Market. Quincy Market in Faneuil Hall. So this is very close as far as the heart of the city is concerned, and Quincy Market is this huge building that has just so many different little restaurants in there. Not sit-down restaurants, but they're everything you can imagine. I know we talk a lot about seafood on these videos, but there's great seafood places, there's great Asian places, you name it, you can find it. It's an international strip as far as food's concerned. So that's really nice because, if you're with people that don't want to necessarily have a pizza, someone can go and have a taco, someone can have a nice healthy salad, someone can get a nice thing of fried clams. That's a reoccurring theme on this video. So it's a great place as far as experiencing some of the local flair and just overall in general. After you go through there, you can now go into Faneuil Hall, and you have all the old cobblestones. So walking there is a lot of fun. Faneuil Hall is really cool because there's a lot of different street performers that come, and they get big crowds. And there's some really interesting people that go down there and perform. You're never going to see the same person twice when you're down there. And whether it's someone that's I've seen escape artists down there. I've seen people making balloon animals. I've seen mini plays. I've seen artists. I've seen mannequins, not mannequins, but mimes. One of those people that dress up in like the copper, like they just stand there, like whatever those people are. That's not really a mime. A mime's a person that doesn't talk. But there's a lot of different flair down there, and that's a lot of fun. And then all around that is all different types of shopping. So you can really, I would say, if you're in the Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market area, so you could spend almost a whole day as far as Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market alone, going into all the little shops and trying all the different foods down there. And there's actually there's a lot of nightlife down there as well, and that's something we haven't really even talked about as far as places or things to do as far as Boston's concerned. So we have incredible restaurants, from some great wine bars to cigar bars. There's a lot of we have some local breweries that serve their beer on taps there, like Sam Adams. To us, it's a local brewery. To a lot of people watching this video, it's far away. But we have some great. We even have vineyards here in Massachusetts, which a lot of people wouldn't imagine. So. We have everything you can possibly imagine, right? From fine scale dining, upscale dining, all the way down just to your local hole in the walls, or talking about the nightlife. We have this area called Lansdowne Street that has a lot of the clubs that are down there. I can't name any of them because now that I have kids, I'm not going out to clubs. So, but when I was younger, I had lots of fun going down there, and it was really it was a cool place to go. We have House of Blues down there. There's Boston Billiards, Boston Beer Works is down there. That's all very close to Fenway Park, and then. There's a couple different areas. There's another area that's down what's called our financial district and our theater district. So there's a couple nightclubs down there. So we have a good nightlife as far as if you want to go out to clubs. We have, like I said, the theater district. So we have all kinds of things to do as far as comedians are concerned, or Broadway plays that are there. We have the Boston Opera House. So there's some great entertainment here in the city, and we've done some fun things with our kids. Going to a matinee, going to see The Lion King and seeing Aladdin. So, whether you're single and you just want to rip it up and have a great time, it's there for you. Or if you're in my situation and you got to twiddle your thumbs and watch The Lion King, like, hey, it's fun, so I'm not going to knock it. I love having a family. So that's some of the things to do as far as the city of Boston. And the list is much longer than that. I don't want everyone to fall asleep watching this video saying, oh boy, here we go again. So, if you have questions, about any of those activities, really what you need to do is you have to reach out to us. We're going to help you find that perfect area as far as living, as far as playing, sleeping, relocating, whatever it is you need, we're going to be that resource for you. So what do you have to do? Pick up the phone. You can send us an email, send us a text. We still haven't figured out Morse code, but if you send it to us, we'll figure that out. Just remember, we're your resource for Massachusetts, and we got your back.